Dun, dun, hey, hey. Hello, 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 and welcome to another live stream on the Here to Record YouTube channel. Hopefully you can see and hear me just fine. If not, you will be sure to let me know in the good old YouTube chat. But I'm not alone today, and I will get my special guest, a friend of the family and channel, who's here plenty, which is nice. Jonas, welcome. Nice to have you.
Nice to be back. I think the last one we did on my channel, so good to come back to your channel, and feels like every time we meet there's like either an exhibition going on or about to go on or just went on, so yeah.
Some sort of exhibition ready to go at all times. That's what we're probably mostly going to talk about today. And that was I think that was the title for the stream, at least. Pre-NAB 2025 chit chat. The idea, of course, is that every year in Las Vegas there is the NAB, National Association of Broadcasters Expo, where all sorts of folks in our industry come together and visit booths for the companies we've all heard of, and plenty of companies we haven't heard of that we might discover while we're there. Jonas and I have been to the IBC one, the sort of the European, let's say, equivalent in Amsterdam, which happens in September every year. But I personally have not been and made the trip to Vegas for this. Although you have, Jonas. If anyone has been
I've
to
been there
IBC,
twice
what's the difference,
already.
sort of?
Yeah, I've been the last 2 years I've been there. I mean, it is quite the difference if you compare it to IBC. It's still better to navigate, but it's also a lot of walking. It's a different mix. You have a lot more US-based broadcasters there, but also the typical big booths like Blackmagic brings a big booth. One
Yeah.
big difference is that Grant actually makes it there, so you can see him sometimes there and have a quick convo with him. So that's kind of nice. Other than that, they're relatively the same,
Mm.
but like it's always surprising to me. Like if you book your flights for Vegas early enough, it doesn't come out that much more expensive than Amsterdam.
Which is
And
a
it's
surprise.
like that's pretty frustrating to me every single time. Like I think I'm paying like 400-ish bucks to fly to NAB, and admittedly I figured out that there's like some cheap KLM flights you can get and all that, but like keep being astonished by yeah, that. And then if you just look at Amsterdam rates for hotels, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Every time I look up the Amsterdam rates for hotels, I think, why am I going to this time? So I haven't done it for this year yet, but no doubt after Vegas, if I'm still in the conference or trade show mode, I'll look into it, and I may regret waiting so long to book a hotel in Amsterdam because it is wildly expensive.
Yeah.
But the whole idea of going to the trade show, of course, is just to, get to chat to people, get to talk to people who work in the industry and in the companies that we all want. We want them to fix things. We want to go and say, hey, I have a use case, and why doesn't it work the way I want it to? Or you promised this feature a year ago and it's still not out. Or where's that device that you said would be definitely on the
What does the
market?
stinger button do?
What is the stinger? I'm looking at the Mini Extreme on my table here and saying, I'm pressing the sting button and it still doesn't do anything. I was surprised there for a second. I thought maybe it would do something, but it doesn't. So these are the kind of questions. Of course, I'm sure they're sick of hearing what and when will the stinger button do something. But it is really useful to go and chat and say, hey, I have, even just get to know some people who you've been emailing back and forth from these companies. But what I, of course, want to do actually is meet with people in the sort of here to record world or users of the applications. I know you're the same, Jonas, with the two of us last year at IBC. Someone came up and said that they use both of our softwares, and we chatted for a while about sort of ideas and features and stuff. So that's where you see these kind of people, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like also, like you said, I think especially like for me, it's really good to see where the industry is going. Like, where do you want to build your next workflow? Like, what is a niche where we can provide values in doing a tool? Like, for space comms, like, it's always interesting to see what is the new intercom flavor that everybody falls in love with, or what is the latest, like, for remote and cloud production. So I think there's also like, the networking is just important. And I found that it is a lot easier to, especially as a smaller company, get to talk to people who actually listen on the show floor than it is trying to email them. So like that is one of the things that I really like about these exhibitions is you can talk to someone, and most of the time they will be nice enough and listen to you and then maybe ignore you for the rest of their life. But it at least feels like you can talk to them well. With some vendors, it feels like you're behind a donor wall and nobody talks to you until you spend a couple $100,000 with them.
Yeah, exactly.
So I do like that part of it.
I think one part of it for me is like the people that you really talk to, that you either have a good chat with, or you have an idea, or something to follow up afterwards. You can tell like the higher up the company ladder that person is, the less likely they are to give out their business card. So when you get that from someone who you can tell is pretty senior, then you're onto something, and you can go home and hopefully email them back and forth and actually get your idea included in the piece of hardware or software. It's a nice way to do it.
And often it's not even the technical details, but like the philosophy behind the product that really helps. Like, because often I think we get stuck in like, why does this not work for my specific use case? Like, why doesn't it work this way? And the vendor at the same time also gets stuck in there. Well, this is broadcast. It always has been like this. Like, why?
Exactly.
Why would you use it that way? That is weird. And like getting to share perspective, I love talking to people at those exhibitions, because like at the same time it makes it clearer what their product is. I also feel like I gain a lot from talking to people about our products or space comms and all of that, and like seeing people's reactions and getting questions asked. Like, that is really the beneficial part for me.
I agree. Just checking on the chat here. David's around saying things sound good, which is always excellent to hear. And Nicholas as well, looking sounding good all the way from Helsingborg. Nice to have you joining us. And yeah, and Andre here saying, enjoy your journey and bring interesting news for us who can't go. And that's of course one of the sides of the trip, certainly to Amsterdam, where we would bring a bunch of equipment and film and live stream and stuff like that. But for NAB, we're sort of going there in more of a enjoy the show capacity so far. We haven't made any big plans to capture or do anything crazy, but we will at least have all the information and news. We'll take plenty of photos and get all the details. And I always find the first place I post all that is in the Discord server. So if I see something cool in there, I'll definitely throw some photos. And then what we found in the past at NAB or IBC is that because it's a multi-day event, you can post like, here's the new device. In fact, when you were at ISC this year, you posted, and I managed to post a video thanks to you about that BitFocus Elgato device. I've forgotten now what it was called, PoE injector. And then since it's a multi-day event, we could get questions back from the Discord community and say like, or even on our live stream and say like, what is this? What does this connection do? Why? And then you were able to go back the next day and ask them questions again, which is something that's really difficult to do on a call or on an email, so that you feel like you're pestering people. But when you're at the show floor, you can ask them like 100 questions every day, and they're just like, yeah, this is basically what I'm here to do, is answer your 100 questions every day. So that's useful.
And I really like that. Like it, like you said, I ran to the booth, got all the info, posted some pictures, went back the next day, asked some more questions and all that. Yeah.
That was great.
I like that part of it.
Yeah. Let me see. So Guy Cochran asks, maybe we'll have a better answer for this after we come back from the show. But what's the latest in cloud production? Now, I know, Jonas, you mentioned that you wanted to show me something that you have been tinkering on behind the scenes. Does that sound about right? You want to save that for after we get back?
But I think... No, I think we can do that in a little bit when we wrapped up some of the NAB tour. Because one of the other cool things with this NAB is we figured out how to sneak space comms on a booth. So
we did.
If you go to NAB, this is some exclusive info that I'm sharing here.
I love some exclusive info.
Cut to this.
Okay, let me cut to this other shot.
Totally.
Oh wait, no, that's not the right one.
There you go.
Just wanted to show myself for a second.
There we go. So this is the STREAMannouncer by Gear Labs. this is gonna work really nicely with Spacecoms. Basically, it's an announcer console for the modern world of remote production, cloud production, Zoom-based virtual productions, and all of that. And we're gonna be at the Purple Tally and Gear Labs booth also with a Space Comms demo, and then there's the other product that I'm gonna tease later called CloudFlex Broadcast that is also gonna be there that we're gonna demo. So this is the first time for me to have a product on the show floor. So quite excited to
And
have that.
I guess the best part is that you physically did not make nor are going to have to support this product. So it's kind of a win-win for you in that you can go there and you can talk about it, and we can talk about it with Spacecoms and how it would work, but someone else is doing all the hard work and making this product a reality. And I'm personally not affiliated. I don't think necessarily, Jonas, that you're affiliated with this hardware creation, more just excited for the release of it, right?
Well, and that is the cool thing, and Jesse Madison, the CEO and owner of that company, is also in the chat. And
oh, nice.
When I saw the first version of this, I already knew what I wanted in a version 2. And I am just amazed by this version and what all it's gonna do. Automatic ducking for when Spacecoms is gonna talk to you, and if you hit the mute button, that's a cough button, and if you hit on aux, then you will talk to Spacecoms and all that. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. And I think this is also a great point to
do.
John, since you're the first time at NAB, I think I should give you a little, hey, this is how that thing works.
Please.
So normally,
I'm gonna sit back and relax.
Normally, there's all these halls. And if this would load. This is also a very common thing, so I actually put this here. The internet on the show floor is great. Not. So there's South Hall, Central Hall, North Hall, West Hall. And what's also interesting about South Hall is there's a lower hall, South Hall lower, and South Hall upper. This year, there's only South Hall lower, and this is the most confusing thing, because I don't know, it's the first time that I realized that an exhibition hall can have 2 basements, basically. Last year, North Hall was closed. This year, Central Hall is closed. So you kind of have West Hall. Generally, there's more the businessy type of things, OTT and all of that. But since Central Hall is closed, everything is kind of redistributed. So you see all of the AI things are there, and then if you zoom in here, you'll see the fiber guy and the Purple Tally booth. Those are where you are gonna be able to both see CloudFlex and a little demo of Spacecoms. So this is where you have your VisRT, your Dolby, your all the AI and startup things, Vimeo, LTN. I think AWS is somewhere. So this is more of that kind of thing. Here's Amazon, AWS, all of that. But then there's also the North Hall. And this is relatively small. You have your Sony's. This is where you find most of your hardware. So your Sony, your Canon, your Tilta, RTS. This was one that we found earlier, Osmo. So I don't even have mine to show, but both John and I, we like our Osmo Pockets. So I was like, what is Osmo? Well, it turns out the Osmos are going to get their own booth this year. So that's all that. And then normally there was a South Hall lower and upper. This year there's only a lower. And this is where you have the Ross and the Blackmagic booth.
Right.
It's kind of funny, always. The Blackmagic booth is I want to figure out if they have 2 of the same, or if they ship it around, or what happens there. But it's the same booth. Hopefully there's going to be some new content there. Then you have the Ross booth. One cool thing that I saw at the, was it IBC? It was at IBC. They had the since they acquired cable cameras, had a spider cam flying around on top of the booth. That was really cool. I really enjoyed that. I think they're doing that again. So here you have more of your like camera and like small rig, all of that. The weather company, really interesting thing. They do like all the weather data, and if you win there, you get a great shirt. One of my favorite swag shirts. Then you have like meeting halls and all that. But yeah, that is basically NAB, and it can like get quite confusing when you try to like come from north to south or something, because like it's far. Like you have to walk there quite a bit. So like if let's look at it on Google Maps.
Let's go to the old Google Maps.
Come on.
Come on.
There we go.
Watch Jonas Google. That's the new title for this stream.
I think we should do that more often.
Or we could play GeoGuessr next time.
That would be fun. But like one of my favorite things about, I of course can't find anything right now.
Oh yeah, never can.
Circus. Some here. Sahara, so should be.
You can always search for it. It's possible. We used this before, Jonas, this mapping service.
There we go.
There we go.
Look at us.
Look at that. That's beautiful.
So that's the other thing that's good to know is if you are at a hotel that is on the monorail, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna be in the link. And what I really like is you drive like around the sphere, which is really cool to drive around. But like, yeah, you can already see down here, this is North Hall. Back there, that's West Hall. So this is where you have the tunnels and like it's a lot of walking. So just something to keep in mind for when you do your first NAB.
I am preparing myself for some walking, definitely. Something to look forward to. Getting the steps in.
And it's gonna be hot. Like
that's true.
You are in a desert. That's the other thing that like I was really lucky that I got a couple heads up of like, keep in mind you're in the desert. It's like doesn't look like it if you like look around here, but you are in the desert. And
yeah, I mean it's like
you are in the desert.
It's gonna be like, I don't know, it's 8 degrees Celsius outside right now here. I don't think in 2 weeks time it will change all that much. So you have that weird feeling of like going to the airport with your coat on and then you have to carry that around, or you just like, you know, leave early in the morning for the airport and just t-shirt and shorts it and then hope for the best when you get there. It's a annoying packing situation.
Well, and then it's a long flight where like also you want to have like warmish comfy clothes because they cool down the aircraft so much. And
that is true. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to think smart when I'm packing. Speaking of packing, I prepared myself for some stuff for us to give away to you friendly folks if you meet us there. So there is a Spacecom sticker.
Some
swag. And we printed up these Spacecom stickers. So I'll bring all these with me. So if you come say hello, then for sure you can get one of those. If you're a Rundown Studio fan, which I hope you are as well, we got some of those stickers. And I printed out a bunch of these new or old classic ATEM mini holographic ones. So I'll be bringing all those. And then something I showed off a while back is these straps, H2R gear straps. I'm not going to bring many of these because these are like legit metal ends on them. Not only do I think it looks suspicious to bring 1,000 of these in through customs, I also like I went on a bit of a road show showing off H2R gear a few weeks ago, and I brought like 50 to 75 of these at a time, and it was considerable, noticeable wait. So I'll probably only bring like 5 or 10 of them, and then the first few people I see there, they can have them. Although it'd be cool. We can ask Jesse's permission, who's in the chat there, that we can stick a few of these Spacecom stickers on the booth. Maybe we can drop a few off, and they'll be kind enough to let us leave them there.
I'm sure we can hide some, and you'll need to say the secret passphrase, and then you'll get some. It's
and Jesse says, of course. So that's excellent. We'll leave a few there and see how it goes. Jack B, just a couple other people joining in here saying hell yeah, welcome, hello from Arizona. And let me see what else. Jack B also said, Jonas, you got to check in with Sigma when you get there. I want to hear more about their autofocus cinema lenses. So you've a to-do list already before you even go.
Not even there, and already have to check all those things.
Hello from Sportflow. Hello, Sportflow. And TVN. Hello. Nice to have you all watching along. Apparently, Jonas, you have to wear some purple fedora. Do you have a purple fedora? I don't think I've ever seen you in a hat. Never mind a very fancy hat like that.
That's the other thing, that I have a really nice TV store hat. I tried to get a SpaceComms hat before NAB, but turns out, like, I know about NAB 4 months ahead because I booked my ticket, and then I forget about it and don't buy all the swag and all the things that I want, and then you come back and you're like,
scramble.
Now it doesn't matter anymore. I'll get it in time next year, and then you don't. So
you never do.
Just that. Maybe this time after NAB, I'll get all of the things I wanted to get for IBC or something. And
you could set yourself a reminder for right after NAB to get all the stuff for IBC.
Yeah.
So Jonas, show me that one more time. On the, do you have the floor plan still available there? Because I'm keen to see the booth.
I do. 1 second. Let me. There we go.
Thinking about it. Because I think I missed what booth number that STREAMannouncer will be at.
So we will be in the West Hall. And then you just, I think you enter here.
If you can find it, you enter
right along here. And then here you are, the Purple Tally Productions booth.
Perfect.
W3733. And it's nice to find because it's just on the big walkway. Walk into where it smells like AI, and then go left just before you're there.
Before you get to the AI nonsense. Sure. What is the I was looking at this map the other day. What does the orange mean? Is that like emergency exits or something?
So this is where you would walk.
But can't you walk between all the other places? Are you allowed to walk between all the booths? There's plenty of walkways.
Yeah, I think this is just like the major walkways that are larger than like the booth.
Ah, I see.
It's here's all the AI things, and I almost feel like you could play a game that's like bingo, where like we both start at a place, and like the first person to like find an AI company that actually tells you what they're doing, like wins on things like that.
The first company you find that actually tells you pricing, that would be interesting too. Like software pricing. Hardware is not so bad.
That's another one.
Yeah, software pricing is hard.
Yeah, hardware they seem to be like much more like, oh yeah, sure, here's the pricing, and like what distributor are you and all that. But like software, it's like, yeah, let's schedule a follow-up call after NAB, and
yeah, exactly.
We'll figure out an estimate for you, and
annoying.
Then you can contact us. I'm like, yeah.
We'll see.
Probably not.
So is your plan, Jonas, to not only explore the show, but will you be sort of stationed up at that booth for a while, or here and there, or what if people want to find you somewhere?
Well, I'll be here and there, here and there.
Here and there.
Say that 3 times fast.
Exactly.
But also, I will like book meetings. So if like people want to see that or CloudFlex, they can hit me up on Discord, LinkedIn, or wherever they can find to hit me up on, and I can send them a link to schedule a meeting and figure that out. And
I
yeah,
think
no,
on that, sorry, but on that note, I have fallen for the trap before of like, yeah, just reach out to me on the day while we're there and we'll figure out something. But
yeah, no.
it really doesn't work. You really have to like, now is the time to chat with each
It's
other and decide somewhere.
yeah, especially with NAB because like we previously established, it's not that easy to come from South Hall to West Hall, and like it's easy to miss each other. And like, yeah, no, if you want to meet, make something into the calendar now, and it'll will happen.
And one other
And we
thing.
also have 2 demos scheduled. I don't know,
Oh,
does it know? I don't know when they are off the top of my head. I think it's Sunday afternoon and Monday morning. So we will also have demos, but like you can come to the booth at any time and get the demo. But if you want the demo from me and the other co-founders, then those are the 2 times.
oh, sweet. I'm definitely going to come by one of those times then and see it, a proper demo. And speaking of meetups, we are going to do a very informal here to record Discord meetup for sure. It's looking like the Sunday, and I don't think we have a time set yet. So NAB 2025 channel in the Here to Record Discord, and if you're not part of that, it's underneath all of these videos in the description. But we're trying to decide a time and a place. I believe last year they had like a informal meetup just outside the main entrance, so there's plenty of space out there, just to meet up and chat. So it'll probably be out there, and it'll probably be on the Sunday, and it'll probably be at a time that we'll post in that Discord channel. So come along if there's. That's where a good place to get some stickers and straps and all that good stuff as well.
Yeah. Do you want to get a little demo of this CloudFlex thing that I keep talking about?
Perfect segue into a new chapter on the live stream. Yes, definitely. So what is, I actually don't know that much. So what is it? What's going on? Start from scratch.
So, and some of people in the audience know, I've been doing cloud production ever since we had the pandemic, and that is what? It's almost, is it 5 years now? It is 5 years now.
Oh yeah, it is.
Which is kind of crazy. And basically we kept running into these issues with cloud production. Like it is, you need your own IT team, you need people that can manage it. The amount of times that people like just send you passwords, and like now you need to like take this, go into the AWS console, like keep changing where you find things, then you start it, then you like copy the password over, you send it there, and then you need to log into your VPN just to start an instance. And finally this year, Tucker, Dragu, and I, and Jesse and Michael Lang have all come together, and we just said, you know what? We've been searching for a tool like this that makes our life easier and like makes cloud really something that a lot more people can do. Because like right now you need specialized people. Like we've seen too many people try and fail on their own, which like really that's no one benefits from that. Like that's just annoying. Or the other thing is what we see is like a lot of vendor lock-in, like, well, yeah, sure you can do cloud production, but only with this one specific vendor and this one specific way. So CloudFlex is an orchestration platform that sits on top of right now AWS. So you can manage your instances, your access, and all of that there. So I am gonna go here.
Oh,
he's in. This is it. And let me hit this button. There we go. So what you're going to see is, this is the instances. You can see all your instances, the IP addresses, instance IDs. So for example, what I have here is I have dashboard. So all I need to click to go there is click that setting, except that I'm going to an unsecure website.
Ooh.
warning, it's dangerous. And look at that. It's us. So this is
that's us.
A ROS carbonite. Wait, that's you and that's me. And so this is the ROS carbonite code dashboard running there, and I can click around and cut between us. So, and you might have noticed there's like nothing you had to do from like copy paste an IP address, copy paste some password or something. And if I reload this, it's gonna be say, nope, you are not allowed in anymore. And say, no, you can't get in, because we actually secure it with a code. So like normally I would need to like hide all the IP addresses and be like secret about it and all that. I don't have to do that anymore, because this is actually secured with a key, and you see the auth token there. We're gonna connect to it.
So it's like single use or something, is it?
Yeah, the auth token is single use, and here you see now we have a vmix thing there. But the cool thing is we not only have that, we also have feeds. So in here, I can go, for example, I can click on this one, and now I'm gonna see my multi-view, come on, of that same vmix instance directly in here. I can share that with people and all that. But the really cool thing is, if I go to organization here, it's super simple to invite people. Like I could just say John at Here to Record, or whatever email you want to use. I can invite you, you get an invite, you click accept, and you're in.
Right.
That is how easy it is to get you on. And then what I can do here in the environment is I would say, as the operator, I want you to have access to the instances, but only to this specific studio. So that's kind of how we do grouping and all that. And then this is a cool feature. If I only want to give it to you for a week, I can say, actually only get
that's neat.
it from here to here, and then it adds it and all that. Applications, we have a couple different applications that you can enable. Some settings here, and the two ones here that are more broadcaster focused is flows. So this is where this allows you to create one-to-many distributions. You can take an NDI, and then you can send out SRT, RTMP, or anything else. The big advantage of that is that you can manage it from here. We use a flow manager instance that you deploy in the AWS account, and then you do it that way. And then the other thing you have here is, if I select the flow here, this is a broadcast controller or ad manager. And what this allows you to do is schedule ads. And what this does now is, for the next 30 seconds, it's gonna send an ad insertion tag. So like most broadcast systems can read that, or YouTube can read that. So at this point, it's going to do an ad. I can say, actually, something breaking is happening. I want to come back early. I want to do a 2-minute break. All of that is in here. That allows you to like scale and actually get money for your content by running ads. One of the things that you see up here is we support multiple organizations and environments, because even like the worst annoying thing is needing to, like, I call it my remote commute, when you have to go from one AWS account to another one, and like move all your accounts over and log in and all that. But that is the basics of it. You can create new environments, you can manage it. That is, then we manage it in our environment, or you can change it over to self-hosted, select the region and give us your key and secret, and then we actually attach to your AWS account. So if you already have existing environment and you just say, hey, instance manager looks great, I want that, you can do that. If you want more about that, you can hit me up or come to the booth, do like the whole thing. You get to see that. We have a little cloud production demo, and then you can also check out the STREAMannouncer and Space Comms, and then find some stickers and.
So all this is happening at the
what do you
same
want?
booth because you're all sort of connected together. The same folks are making all this, right?
Yeah, it's there's two booths next to each other: the Purple Tally Productions and the Fiber Guy one. If you keep walking across those two booths, you can find all of those. Yeah.
Cool. And the whole idea behind this is basically to stop me from ever having to log into AWS again. Can I get away with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that really is the goal, and especially for your operators, like,
Yes.
I really like this. I always say, like, it should be as easy for an operator to do cloud production than it is for them to start their normal computer. Like,
Right.
and here it is. Like, you just click start, and it's gonna start it. In the background, it's gonna start booting it up. Now it's pending, all of that. As soon as it's online, you can click connect. It opens up a window. You're securely connected to it. That's it.
Nice.
And like, even when we did productions together, like, now I could just like invite you for a day and give you access, and you can do whatever you want with the vMix system and all that. But also, if you don't want to spin up your own AWS account, that's where the managed solution comes in, right? If you want to do a podcast, or they call it vodcast now,
Oh, do they?
which is
I
a
didn't know.
video podcast, like this, you could just let us deal with the complexity.
Yeah, I mean, whenever things started, I definitely spun up my own instances in AWS, but I found that I didn't need them very regularly. So every time I went back to do it again, I had to relearn how to do it, and then eventually it's like, well, what's the point in doing it, because it's taking me so much time to just remember what all the configuration was. So I just scrapped all that. So in theory here, I can forget all of those things and just use this instead, which would be quite nice.
Yeah, like, it's, and like I talked about the vendor lock-in earlier, like, you can bring your own AWS account if that is really what you want. Right now I'm logging into Visity Vector, which is, if you're familiar with a TriCast in the cloud, here you go. You have your TriCast in the cloud, whoever likes that. So we really try to just also keep it open while still providing you like this unified experience of just start it. I'll show you this. You can now see the different studios and what is stopped and started there. You can like start all, stop all, get your video feeds, all of that. Yeah.
And is there like what's sort of the bottleneck in time from I want to do it to it's ready to roll? Is it, because I remember AWS, you got to spin up all those instances and stuff and download and add things. Is it something that you can do pretty snappy, or do you have to do a lot of, like Jack, I think, asked in the comments here, all of this has to be configured at the beginning, right? And I'm thinking the same, like, you really want to spend some time in configuring all this stuff ahead of time, right?
Yes and no. Like, one of the things that we won't have for NAB that we're working on is like being able to deploy it. So you can say, hey, I need an additional vMix instance. But like for a show like this today, we're using vMix on your end. You could have also just put that in the cloud, and as soon as we have the deployment, that will be easy to go. Otherwise, if you have like a repeating podcast or something like that, it's also simple to set that up once. How it works is you open a ticket with us and we deploy those instances for you.
Got it, yeah.
Just so you actually have like, I spent 5 years and I am surprised I don't have like a full head of gray hair, because the amount of issues we came into, like one of those examples is like Zoom rooms. It took us like months, weeks. I don't even know how long it took us to figure out that you need to enable Wi-Fi for Zoom rooms to be able to start in the cloud. Like, there's so many traps that are still there that, like, if you use the system that we provide, are just not there.
So the idea here then is, okay, I'm going to start a weekly podcast, and I'm going to use vMix in the cloud, me personally, and I want to use CloudFlex instead of running it myself. In order to get up and running the first time, I need to sort of reach out, add a ticket, you can make that instance for me, and then from that point on, or at any point, I guess, all I need to do is go to the web portal and stop the instances that you've already pre-configured to work for me. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, then they would just show up in here. You can stop them however you want. You get billed by usage, and that's it.
Sweet. Yeah,
and that's really like a nice thing. You don't have to write anyone like, oh, want to start this or stop this. And at the same time, it's still usage based. So like, there's a base charge for the platform that we use for like all the overhead, so you can boot it when you want, and then there's like a base charge for the instance to lie dormant for basically all the storage that you have associated with the instance. But then if you don't do a podcast for a month, that's also fine. And then the next time you do more, like, that's the beauty of cloud.
It is. And I'm sure you're working behind the scenes on pricing it up and deciding how that all structure works, right?
Yeah, well, there's like kind of different models that we have. There is like we said, the manage where it runs in our AWS account. We have good relationships with AWS, have been doing this for 5 years, and this is kind of where you get more of a hand-holding as well in the deployment, management, and all of that. But then there's also self-hosted, where it is in your AWS account. You pay AWS directly for your compute and storage usage. So like at that point, you only pay us for the platform and a little bit of an overhead fee, because some of the traffic needs to go through our environment to like secure it all. But then that's it. So those are kind of the two models that you have.
Nice.
We're kind of looking at $500 per month for like a full-fledged setup with instance manager and feeds. So like at the same time, we understand that like if you have your 2 instances, that is like just makes no sense to pay $500 to access those 2, right? So like that is still where we're working at, like working our price to be able to for you to spin up something quickly, simply with like 2 instances. But we have a couple of customers already that use pre-versions of that on other systems that we've built. And for them, it's the simplicity of having like remote broadcasts, simply like being able to say, hey, here, operator, check in there and all that. And like Jesse says in the chat, one of the things that I can't stop talking about is that like it's unacceptable for us to not give you at least an idea of price when you ask us about that on the booth.
Exactly.
Right?
We just talked about that.
Because like the reality is like I'm saying now $500. Is it 550 or 495?
Yeah.
That probably doesn't matter too much. But like it's not 5K.
Is it 5,000?
It's not.
Yeah, exactly. Or is it
6 months minimum commitment. It's like $500 a month. You can cancel at any time. Like all of that. Now that puts it into perspective. And it's like one of my biggest gripes with cloud companies. It's like, we like it's all scalable and you can use however much and you pay per usage. But please tell us at the start of this 12-month contract that we require for the pricing to not be insane, how many hours you're going to use. I'm like, why would I use the cloud then? Like if I already know everything and I've budgeted it out, that is one of my biggest pet peeves.
And I suspect, without knowing anything about the pricing specifically or how it's going to scale, my suspicion would be like if I personally have this weekly live stream here on the channel and I want to spin up cloud instances, it might not actually make sense to do it through this system. However, if I'm like a production company, which I guess I do a lot of productions too, and I have 1 client this week, 4 clients next week, 10 clients next month, then it does make a lot of sense for me just to spin up instances through a service like this, right?
Well, I think, like you said, if you have 1 person and you want to fiddle with it and really like learn it all, sure, there's some value there. But like as soon as you run a business, and what we found is as soon as you have more than one person, you run into all of these scalability issues. And like one of the things that is really important to me is we don't charge you per user right now. Like we want to grow with you. So like, do you need another person to step in for a day, or like want to get some help? Like that is where we see it all fall apart. Or like now every operator, like let's say you have a simple podcast, a weekly podcast.
Yeah.
And now you want to scale that because you can't survive by just making one single weekly podcast, especially as a business.
Yeah.
Now you need to search someone who's like a great operator that can do like vMix operation, great with talent, and also knows AWS. So that is kind of our like, we removed the and also knows AWS piece with like, how vMix works? Great. That is probably most of the 98% of the tech that you need to know.
Yeah.
Because we are just going to put you in front of a vMix machine. There you go.
Yeah.
We're going to help you get your companion there, your video signals in and out, and that's it. Versus, oh yeah, you need to log into my AWS account, add your IP address here. This is the hard-coded password. Oh, actually, that person, I don't want to have the password anymore. Now I need to go in and change my instance passwords. And like,
oh yeah, sounds about right.
like you say, if you're a single person wanting to mess around with cloud, maybe it's not the thing for you. But like, as soon as you're serious about it as a business, I think that's where an overlay system, overlay management network like this makes a lot of sense.
That is true. Jack B asking, we have a weekly podcast. Exactly what we've been talking about here. Do we bring video in from Zoom or NDI or something? So what is the sort of contribution methods that you can use? And I suspect it's many options.
Yes. Yeah, and that's like the cool thing. Like yesterday, there was an announcement that AWS themselves, Media Connect, now can do all of the inputs to NDI. If you go to the Flow Manager here, you can add an NDI input as well through our Flow engine. So you can take SRT, RTMP, WebRTC in and output NDI that way. So that's one way. But then, yeah, if you want to use a Zoom Room or the direct vMix integration, those are both great use cases and things that you can do. We don't limit you on that. We strive to build more integrations to make that whole integration easier. But like, it's a computer. You can install what you want on it. We'll have guidance for you what you should install on what instance size, but we won't limit you and tell you, no, you cannot use Teams.
Well, you can suggest not to use Teams, maybe. Yeah, so a lot of the examples you showed earlier were not specifically, or at least I didn't notice that you were specifically showing the computer, like a remoting into computer. It felt like a lot of these links that you can share with people are an abstraction from that, right? The multi-view feed or the specific program. But maybe you did actually show it and I was distracted.
So, well, this is how you would be able to get into a computer. So like, let's see, this vMix instance is online. I can decide, do I want to use the web connection or DCV native client? So if I click this, it's going to load and
live demo.
Connect. Keeps wanting to translate everything, and there we go. Now you're in.
Yeah, of course you did show
your
this.
vMix computer, Windows, everything you want.
Nice.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, there's so many times that I just got so bored of messing around in AWS. So had you already had this ready to go, I know I would have used it many's a day.
And that's kind of like the thing, right? Like, this is the tool that we build that we both know our customers need, but also that we need ourselves, needed it 4 years ago, and no one built it. So that's why it's there.
And when is the Dashmaster integration coming, where you click a button and it opens up 4 feeds on your dashboard instead?
I'm sure we can figure that out. You just select all of those, click import to Dashmaster, and Yeah, I'm sure we can figure
Bob's
that
your
one
uncle.
out. Do you happen to know the developer of Dashmaster 2K?
I know where to find them.
And of course, to because I know we also have some cool things to show with space comms
Yes.
that we can show. So of course, there's a lot of synergies that we can now. As soon as you have a platform, you can have a lot of synergies with other things and just make people's life easier.
Yeah, you definitely can. But I think we can save our Spacecom updates for our next live stream, because I think we dug pretty nicely into your CloudFlex and the StreamAnnouncer too. Let's keep people interested. And if we haven't told you by the time we get to NAB, then come find us and we'll dig into all those details there as well, right?
I mean, it's not like NAB is what, like 2 in a week or so? Maybe we should do like a quick run through the admin update.
Oh, okay, let's just do it then.
Like,
do you have it? Are you logged in there?
I don't know. Like, I'm flying out in less than 7 days, so like.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're not really around next week.
I mean,
let's say
no. I think I'll be in a plane. Yeah, no. I think I'll be in a plane.
I'll be solo then next week, if I go live again. You know, my consistency is pretty low at the minute.
You know, maybe I'll try to call in from a plane with.
Ooh. That audio would sound amazing.
I don't think they'll let you do that.
Nah.
Yeah, it would probably sound amazing, and maybe not. Maybe we'll just do something else.
Well, let me bring up my screen share here then, just to show the latest edition. So I loaded up Space Comms because we did release. It's been a week or two now, right? Since we pushed out some updates, but
yeah.
We announced it in January on the channel here as like a go for it, let's do this thing. And since then we've had lots of really good feedback on improvements and suggestions that we can make to make it even better and faster and easier for admins, among other things. And one, if you watched that previous stream or played with it before, you'll notice there's a couple of really neat things added. For example, one is like member search here. So as your space gets huge, things got a little complicated. So what you can do now is search for a specific group or a member, and they appear, or it filters it all down to that.
And especially since we added, what you see there is, you might notice, wait, can you now just give permissions to a member directly instead of using a group through it? Yes. So there's a whole bunch more permissions that you can do. That's why we also added the way to use members and groups to give more permissions to people.
Exactly. Our previous structure was sort of like create a group, add channels, assign those to groups, add members, assign those members to groups, which will therefore inherit channels. And while that is still possible for building big shows, you still want to do that sort of workflow, right? But now what you can do is add channels. So you start with your actual channels. Here I have my production channel, my cameras, my audio, and my sort of host, I called it. And then I can add members and just add those to the groups if I want, or I just leave them as they are. And I've got random names in here. I have no idea where I pulled these names from.
I love it. It's like way better than my test 1, test 2, test 3.
That's why I'm so surprised to see, look, name host, there you go. I'm so surprised to see actual names in here, because before I just had test 1, test 2. And so back up in the channels area, when I add a member now, a specific person to talk listen, I can do that here, which is really nice. Or I can just, if I had a huge list, I can just look for Matthias and say like, okay, Matthias, you're going to be in the talk listen of the production. Close out that. And I can do the same down here with members. If I have too many members, I can do that. Filter by the members, John. Oh, and a really nice little neat one now is disabling the member. So if I just remove them, you'll notice that they're all grayed out now. So this is a handy way to build a big show, And maybe next year it's the same show, but you're not sure if John's going to be there and you want to add another member, you can just disable them instead of deleting them completely and losing all of their configuration. So that's quite nice. Nice to have. And of course, just like before, you can add groups and you can add talent links as well. So nothing has really changed there. It's just a sort of restructure of the way things are laid out, which is quite nice.
Yeah, and I think it may it should make the use case of like you are a single operator and like you have like 5 people a lot simpler, because like with 5 people you don't really want to like create 5 different groups and like you create groups of groups and all that. We listen to the feedback and hopefully this makes it a lot clearer and easier to use now.
Exactly. And a couple other things I know we added into the actual space itself. Let me see. I'm sure if I can. Maybe I'm not. Oh wait, did I re-enable myself? No. Should probably do that.
Because of the demo. Can you remember your password?
Apparently, yes.
There you go.
I'll just block my mic right now because I don't know if it's going to mess with my whole other setup. So we have made buttons a bit different and more clickable, and we have reworked the sort of status indication here. So when you are, when someone's talking on there, it becomes green now, whereas before it was always purple and around there. But when someone else is talking, it's now green, so you know that you're listening to someone else talking. And then when you start to talk, it turns purple instead. So you're it's a little clearer on like if you're talking and people can hear you versus if someone is talking and you can hear them, which I think was a really neat little improvement that seems tiny, but if you play with it, you'll feel the difference definitely. I think that covered it. That wasn't so bad. I don't know why I hesitated from jumping into it. I thought I would talk for 20 minutes about updates, but nice little feature tweaks.
I mean, let's just start building some features live that we need to talk about then.
Maybe that's next week's stream idea.
I think it's a lot of like simple things that really make it easier to use for everyone. Like we kind of have this 2 use cases where it's like it's your first intercom because we are trying to make it affordable and like also for virtual and normally underserved communities of like virtual event producers. You just want to do a small Zoom. It's really hard to get simple comms there often if you don't want to use Unity or want something that's more than just another Zoom call. But at the same time, we also have a bunch of broadcasters that are saying, hey, I need a way to talk to my Zoom audience and I need like groups and roles and all that. So trying to find a middle ground between those two, I think we're on a much better path now.
Agreed. Mark is, Sony says, Space Comms. That's what we always said too, Space Comms. True Space Comms by Jack B. And then these are great updates. Can't wait for more features. Absolutely. Michael too. I think you mentioned Michael's name earlier, saying hello in the chat.
Yeah, he is part of the whole CloudFlex broadcast team.
And he says the Wi-Fi is fantastic on airlines. Just stream from over the Atlantic. Yeah, we'll see. I don't think I would. I think I would want to see you streaming in, but I really don't want to listen to the audio coming from a very loud.
No,
as you whisper
I don't think
awkwardly.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that sounds like a terrible idea. Excellent.
You know, we can just train an AI on my voice and my face, and then all I do is I send text messages, and we translate that into like video and images live.
It's not your worst idea.
I think that would work.
The latency may be better than when we started this live stream. It's gotten better as we went on, but when we started, it was considerable.
Yeah.
I feel like you paused for dramatic effect.
Well, back to Zoom next times.
Yeah, exactly. So looking at the calendar, next Tuesday, I think I'll see. I'll probably go live again, but that's the 1st of April, and you said you'll be in Vegas by the 2nd, so you're all right. You will be flying at that exact moment, right?
No, I think I might actually be there on the 1st then.
Mm-hmm.
Flying the second, and like there's this weird thing where like it almost is 24 hours from like when I leave till I am there.
Yeah.
This year it's not as bad, but like I leave on the second, think noon my time, and then I like arrive in Vegas midnight.
Ooh.
So we'll see.
We'll see. Cool. So then I guess the next time we will see the fine folks out there is if we happen to pop on someone's live stream while we're in Vegas. That would be awesome. Someone's having a live stream and wants us to step in and say hello, then we're up for it.
We'll just take it over. And
Move
we'll
it.
grab the camera and run away.
Thanks for your efforts and work. I appreciate that. But otherwise, I guess if you're going to NAB this year in Vegas, then you'll see me and Jonas walking around together or separately throughout the... I think I'll be there Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, walking around on the show floor, and you'll be there the same, right?
The same. I fly in earlier, so not that the show floor is available yet for everyone. So
Oh yeah,
can't find me
yeah.
there, but yeah,
When does the show floor actually open?
it opens Sunday.
It is Sunday. Yeah. Okay. Oh, whoops! I played the wrong thing there. Yeah, that'd be cool. Enjoy that little music that happened there. Any other business, Jonas, before we wrap things up for this fine day?
No, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll say
we
goodbye.
haven't figured out. We've done a bunch of live streams together, but we haven't figured out like a catchy phrase to end it yet. So
Maybe something like see you in the next watch this space for the next stream, I'll say, and then you'll say something like
Comms.io.
yeah, something very seamless like that would be perfect. Something like comms.io.
That's
Comsing soon to a new channel. I don't know. We haven't figured that out yet.
that's a good suggestion
There
from
you go.
Jack, and that's why we're always here
To record.
to record.
Okay, that's good. That's the best we got so far. Thanks, Jack. Thanks for watching along. See you in the next live stream, or hopefully in person at NAB. Thanks, Jonas, for being here. Appreciate it.
Bye.
That's why we're always here to record. Bye.
Thank you.